So, how to stop binge eating? Well, the answer is pure and simple. You might not accept it, but the answer is just stop dieting of any sorts, of any forms. This is the only answer to the question how to stop binge eating. How can I stop binge eating? Let me explain this a little bit. So, when you are on a diet, you're likely to restrict a lot of calories. And when you are on that calorie deficit, your brain will automatically detect this gap between the calorie consumptions and calorie intake. It will misunderstand the situation as you are being starved, and that equals you are in jeopardy, and that equals you are likely to die, very likely to die. See, even though we are living in a civilized, highly civilized society where we aren't likely to be facing hunger, starvation, famine, or finding food, the anxiety of finding food, like legitimate anxiety where you just cannot literally find any food um, anywhere. Nowadays we're surrounded by the an excessive amount of food, an abundance of calories, of these energies. However, we didn't have this until just about over a few decades ago. Before that, even a little over 100 years ago, everyone is still starving, and food is still was still a scarcity in the world, and not everyone could eat meat at every meal. People didn't eat carbs. People didn't eat fat. They only got to eat what they got to eat. So it wasn't a concern at the time to as to how to deal with an excessive amount of calories, of getting fat because of the overconsumptions of food. And that has been always the case for thousands of years of people's existence. That's why our brain hasn't, even though we are used to this lifestyle where we have such easy access to an abundance of food. Even if you're not necessarily living in a first world country, you're still very easily um, to have access to whatever you want, even though, albeit it being high quality in nutritions or low quality in nutritions. Either way, you don't necessarily have to worry about getting starved. Our brain hasn't developed to be aligned with our lifestyles right now. That's why when you are starving yourself by going on a diet, your brain will automatically think of you being in the same position where your ancestors were, even in just a few generations ago, when they were in the middle of nowhere, no convenience store around, no supermarkets around. Um, they only got to eat what they sow, probably, and even because there wasn't the agriculture wasn't as advanced, people didn't have as much food, didn't have as many crop livestocks. People were starving. That's why your body and your brain has been wired to hold on to whatever calories that you can find in the wild. So that's why that's why your brain is still working, functioning in the same way nowadays. That's why you will feel that irresistible level of urge to binge, to eat. That's why you always fail when you are on a diet. You always wind up binging on those extremely calorie dense snacks, food, meals, whether it's chocolate bars, oatmeals, fast food, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and even cereals, because your body needs a quick fix. The more calories, the merrier. So, this is a natural response provided by your instinct to survive. So don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up for that. It's a healthy sign for you to have this overwhelming urge to binge after maybe a period of restrictive dieting. So if you want to stop binging, just stop dieting. That is the only way. And then the next step is your try to restore your normal hunger cue. Your hunger cue is supposed to be the signal that your upper brain is sending out to let your body know that your stomach is full and that you've had enough calorie for the next few hours, maybe, of physical activities or brain activities. So normally, if you have been binging for a long period, your hunger cues are disturbed, and that's why you might not be able to sense the signal that your brain was supposed to be sending out when you were binging on or eating on those high calorie, highly palatable foods. So just try to be mindful when you are eating. Just imagine and feel when your stomach is physically getting full, and then just try to control your portion. And then I would suggest that you prepare some favorite music, and when you are done eating that portion, just listen to the music, while at the same time just put your hand on your stomach and feel just how physically you are full, and just immerse yourself in that kind of feeling, to just reconnect to your body, reconnect your mind, your brain with your body, with your stomach. And gradually, after several meals, several days, several weeks, several months, you will be able to retrieve your normal hunger cues, your healthy hunger cues. And that is when you're able to have 3 meals a day normally, or whatever meals you're comfortable with eating. And then you will notice that your binging eating behavior, the pattern, will become much, much more manageable, and you will be in a much better mood. You will be in a much healthier mindset and status in general. Even though you might gain a few pounds, that's probably inevitable, because when you are trying to restore your hunger cues, you might, because you're not on a diet anymore, you might eat a little bit more than usual at each meal. That's totally normal, and even though you might gain even up to 10 to 15 pounds, that's still considered normal. So don't beat yourself up, and then cut things, and again cut some food off, and then go back to your diet and binge vicious cycle again. So the only way, again, I'm going to repeat this, to stop binging is to stop dieting. That is the only way out. So that is my message here, and I hope it's of some kind of help. Well, thank you for your patience, and thank you for watching. Good luck.